Good morning, all my colleague in the council, Anuj Goyal ji, Gyan Mishra ji, Vishal Doshi ji, Vice Chairman of the committee, Rohit Ruwatia Agarwal ji, in absentia, Vice President Siranjit Agarwal ji, and President of ICAI, Aniket Talati ji, who is joining soon to guide all of us and to all young members who have recently qualified the Chartered Accountancy exam. I welcome you all to this campus orientation program for smaller center, which is being organized in a virtual mode. For larger center, we organize this time physically, and wherever we'll try to see that if possible. And I would like to have this physical in time to come. If the places are having more than 500 members who have passed their chartered accountancy, we'll try to have the physical next time for even smaller center. If at particular center, 500 plus chartered accountants have passed their exam. Let me tell you, friends, we started this journey in 1995 with 4 metro cities, and now we are doing at 13 cities physically and overall 27 cities. This campus placement drive is being done, and virtually the rest of the places, 14 places, have been added. And I feel that many of the members who have recently qualified have already joined physically, because when I visited all the centers, I have seen there that various people from different smaller centers have gathered at Bangalore, at Chennai, or so. So probably some of you may have also joined physically, but today you are again here. Two, three things very fast. I would welcome President sir. Welcome to this campus orientation program for the smaller center. So, I two, three things which I just wanted to convey you very fast is this campus placement program, as I have told you, that has been organized by the CMIB, which is the main program of for getting the job opportunities for all the young chartered accountants who have recently passed their chartered accountancy. The important thing for all of you here is the one thing which I got as a feedback is when you got offer letter and you accept that offer letter, be careful, think twice, thrice, and 4 times in accepting the offer letter. After accepting the offer letter, please see that you don't reject the offer, and whichever offer is being accepted by you, you join them. If you are confident that the next offer also you will be selected, then you can leave the first one. The reason being, we are known for the trust, and we are celebrating 75 years of the trust. And if the at the first stage the trust is broken, that is not the right way and right thing of doing when you are starting your professional career. Friends, I know that with you have passed one of the toughest exam, and you are the tough people to pass this exam. So congratulations to all of you, and I am sure that in time to come you will be doing wonders. You will always keep flag of ICI, flag of professions very high, and the CMIB of ICI would continue to do various activities for all the members who are there into the industries. We are having the placement program for the senior chartered accountant also. This time, total 10,000 were registered, 10,031, of which 2,300 has already got the offer. And in this smaller center, around 4,700 have been selected, of which only 1,700 have accepted, which shows that the people are the members who have recently qualified have also got the offline job. So these selections opting for the interview have been selected by 1700 only for the smaller center, where as they have been 20 or 4700 have been selected for that. So the job, as far as is concerned, for the chartered accountants who are freshly qualified, we are trying hard that you all are placed at good companies, and we would have one more second round thereafter once this is being completed. So with this, I congratulate all of you once again. And there are many activities. If you go to the portal of the ICAI, CMIB of ICAI, will come to know that we are doing a lot of activities for all the members who are there into this, and there are lot many opportunities waiting for you, that and lot many areas are waiting for you. Chartered accountants are not only the audit and assurance service provider, but they are complete business solution provider. They can develop COP, they can do transaction audit, they can survey the insolvency professional, valuation professional. They can provide the risk advisory services, virtual CFO services, and other things too. So with this, I welcome you once again. And at the end, I would like to say all of you one thing, that जिसने जिसको जितना ज्यादा खर्च किया जिसने जिसको जितना ज्यादा खर्च किया उसी बंदे को दुनिया ने गूगल पर सर्च किया. So I wish that you are being seen on the Google, you are being searched on the Google. With this wishes, thank you all for giving me a patient listening, and I would request Shalini to invite one by one all the council colleagues. Before council colleagues, if President Sir has time of shortage, would request President Sir to go ahead with his address to all the young members present over here.
Yes, thank you very much, Durgesh bhai, and I would yes, Shalini ji, boliye.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Now we have with us our Honorable President Sri Aniket Talati, sir. We would like to request sir for his address to the newly qualified chartered accountants.
Thank you. The chairman of the CMIB, Durgesh Kabra ji, the vice chairman, Rohit Ruwatia ji, my colleagues in the council who are here, Vishal Doshi ji, Gyan Mishra ji, Anuj Goyal ji, and the officers of the CMIB committee, Sunita ji and her team, other council members who are joining us, and most importantly, the newly qualified chartered accountants who are here today for their virtual orientation before the second round of campus is commencing. Let me begin by complimenting and congratulating all of you and welcoming each one of you in our midst. You are now a qualified chartered accountant and equivalent to all of us as proud members of this institute. Today we are close to 4 lakh chartered accountants, and you have joined this family of 4 lakh chartered accountants who are spread not just across India in every district or every part or every state of this country, but more importantly, our chartered accountants today are present in all corners of the world. If you look at the Middle East, we have more than 10,000 chartered accountants in just the Middle East area: Dubai, Abu Dhabi, UAE, Muscat, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and all other places. If you look at the subcontinent of Australia and New Zealand, we have close to more than 5,000 chartered accountants who are there in Australia and New Zealand. In terms of the United States, I believe the number is close to 7,000 to 8,000 chartered accountants who are there in various states of the US. We also have close to 2,000 chartered accountants in UK, close to 1,000 chartered accountants in Europe, close to 1,000 chartered accountants in Canada, and of course, more than 2,000 chartered accountants in Africa. And besides this, you have a lot of other smaller countries also where our chartered accountants today are present and are providing their services and are all members in industry, or as they are known as PAIB internationally, Professional Accountants in Business. And you are all now joining this wonderful community of chartered accountants in industry and business, and you will all be working under the aegis of the CMIB. This attempt of CMIB, I think, is laudable. I was very happy to see that the highest salary package this time offered by Tolaram internationally as well as ITC domestically is in line with the international expectations and are also close to 50 lakh for overseas. I think this number speaks about the demand that is there for our chartered accountants and also the kind of value our chartered accountants are able to generate in the market. As I always say, this is only the start. You must, of course, look at your CTC when you start off with. But my suggestion to all of you would be that more than the package, get into an area which is of interest, which is your passion and resonates with your skill sets. Because many times one has seen people getting enticed by a higher CTC and choosing a career path which is actually not aligned with their skill sets or with their area of interest. And what that leads to is that after some time, you do not have what is the most important aspect in any job, which is job satisfaction. And for that to be there, my urge to you would be that ensure that you select the right opportunity that is in front of you. The chairman CMIB Durgesh Kabaraji has very rightly pointed out that in life there is one principle which I always follow and all of us would urge you to follow. You may think 10 times, 20 times before making a decision. But once you have made a decision, then you should not rethink. Similarly, if you are currently in the process of making that decision of where you want to start your career with, you may look at all the options which are available in front of you. But once you commit and accept an offer, I think the society gives us respect and recognition as chartered accountants, as professionals, because we honor our word and we are known as the ambassadors of trust. Therefore, once you have that offer, it is incumbent upon you that you may have taken all the while to decide upon this offer. But once you have decided, then do not rethink. You must honor your commitment, because what is a man and what is a professional? And more importantly, what is a chartered accountant, if not his word? People rely on our word. People rely on our opinion. We are remunerated in practice to give an opinion or to give a certificate or to attest. Similarly, when you get into industry, there are various commerce curriculums which are available in this country. But why companies choose chartered accountants for finance roles, for accounts roles? It is not just because of the tremendous intellectual capital that you have, but a very important aspect, the code of ethics which the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has in its course curriculum, and it mandates and regulates all of you. And this code of ethics, this brand ICI and the two alphabets of trust CA are very important. And from today, you are all brand ambassadors and custodians of this trust and the legacy of ICI, which is 75 years old. So please be mindful wherever you go today onwards. You will have to be very clear in your thought process and understanding that you are not only representing yourself, not only representing your family, but very, very, very importantly, you are representing brand ICI. And therefore, we expect all of you to honor your words, to make sure that you keep the flag of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India flying very, very high wherever you go. Also, very importantly, I would urge all of you that, yes, you have chosen the path of getting into a job or getting into industry. But always remember that it is this qualification of chartered accountancy and is our alma mater, ICI, which has given us this opportunity to excel in life. You will be on social media, you will be on LinkedIn, you will be on other portals available in the world, and you will be sought after. Your skills will get honed, and of course, many companies and corporates will be after you a few years from now, vying for your time and trying to get you the best possible positions in their corporations and companies. But the umbilical cord that each one of us has with our alma mater institute must not be forgotten. I would urge at this occasion, since after becoming members and after getting jobs in various locations, you may not be as connected with the institute. But I would urge, wherever you are, with your local branch, your regional office, try and stay connected with the institute. And more importantly, whenever you get an opportunity to give back to the institution, come be a part of the institute's various functions that we undertake, because all of you in future are going to be the CFOs of the top companies of the world. I have no doubt in my mind. Today, when we talk about the software industry, and you saw the Honorable Prime Minister recently go to the US, He was on a table with all the top software companies of the world and who are all headquartered in the US. But what was heartening to see was majority of them were from Indian origin. It may be Google, it may be Microsoft, it may be any top IT company. The CEOs who are calling the shots of these companies are of Indian origin. And recently you saw Tesla, which is one of the biggest EV manufacturers, appoint a CFO who is not nobody else but our own member and our own chartered accountant. And I think the time is not far. Today, the top CFOs of top listed companies in India are all chartered accountants. But in the few years to come, I'm extremely confident that this is not going to be a phenomena only in India, but anywhere that you go in the globe, any Fortune 500 company's door if you open, and if that position is of a CFO or CEO, very soon we will find our own chartered accountants qualified from ICI taking up these positions and performing their duties. That is the kind of curriculum that we have. That is the kind of rigor and training you have all gone through in your articleship. And that is the kind of class we are able to provide to the world. And therefore, when the opportunities are endless, when today our members are becoming CFOs of top US companies or global companies, that is going to be your future also. But try and always give back to your alma mater. Remember that you got the foot in the door because of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Always try and see that you can take the brand ICI and of course your fellow chartered accountants, when you have the position and power to do so, take them forward along with you and make sure that the flag of this great nation India and the flag of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is flying very, very high. My best wishes to all of you. May you perform phenomenally well in your interviews, get the placements of your choice. And for those colleagues who may not find a place in this round, believe me, there are immense opportunities outside of the campus also. And I'm sure CMIB, with the young and dynamic Vice Chairman Rohit Ruwatia ji and the able guidance of Durgesh Kabra ji, will have many more opportunities for all of you outside of this campus also, so that you can find your dream job, your dream career path, and can truly excel in life. My best wishes to each one of you. Jai Hind, Jai ICI.
Thank you, President Sir, for addressing all young chartered accountants wonderfully. And I feel that each one of a young chartered accountant who has joined this program today, they will follow to your guidance, and they will, in time to come, lead the big conglomerates of India as well as of the world too. And that's how the curriculum of this chartered accountancy course is there. Now we will go ahead with the other council colleagues who are here. And friends, let me tell you that the president of our institute, Aniket Talati ji, is the youngest president, and he feels that the young members who have already passed the chartered accountancy, they should do wonderfully well. And I'm sure that you all would be doing wonderfully well in time to come and will lead the profession. Maybe in practice, maybe in service to the industry or to the other companies. With this, thank you, President Sir, once again for guiding all young members and attending this program and giving roadmap to CMIB also, that how we can perform much better for the benefit of all the members. Now we will start with the address of our other council colleagues, and we'll start with Anuj Goyal ji, and would request everyone to be brief and please guide all the members. We request Anuj Goyal ji to guide all the young members.
Thank you, Durgesh Kabra ji, our honorable chairman of this very, very important committee for members in industry and business. And of course, we are having the presence of Rohit Ruwatia Agrawal ji, our honorable vice chairman of committee for members in industry and business from Jaipur. And of course, we are having our honorable central council colleagues, GC Misra ji and Vishal Doshi sir, and of course our honorable president sir has guided us in the best possible manner which one can handhold, which one can guide for our young brigade of the chartered accountants, and our secretariat Sunita Sahuji and Salim Narangji, and all our respected honorable newly qualified chartered accountants. First of all, let me congratulate each and everyone for being the part of this ICI family. Let me tell you, you have passed one of the toughest examination, one of very, very prestigious examination, best accounting examination of the world. And friends, let me tell you, for the chartered accountants, for the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, I will say sky is the limit. Even sky is not the limit for all of you. And as rightly communicated by Honorable President sir, that there are n number of opportunities for the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and whether it is in industry, whether it is in consultancy, whether it is in practice, and n number of opportunities are opening up, areas are opening up for the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And CMIB is trying its level best to see that how we can give the best of the platform to all of you. We are having now the campus placement at each and every nook and corner of the country, at the smaller places also, and the best of the companies are coming at the smaller centers also. And in addition to that, friends, due to this campus placement program, and number of chartered accountants are getting opportunities off campus also. This is our penetration, that the companies are coming forward, and whether it is through the campus placement program or through off campus the placement is taking place. It is very, very hard work of the Committee for Members in Industry and Business. I compliment Honorable Chairman Durgesh Kabra ji and Vice Chairman Rohit Agrawal ji for a great endeavor which they have undertaken to see that how we can provide the best of the opportunities, not only to the newly qualified chartered accountants, but also we are giving the best of the chartered accountants, best of the accounting professionals to the trade and industry. And friends, let me tell you, no economy of the world can really go ahead unless and until there is very, very active contribution of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. We are having very, very great presence in each and every part of the world. You see, in the Gulf countries itself, we are having 20,000 chartered accountants who are physically there. And if the Gulf countries are progressing, I think very, very active contribution of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So I will not be taking you much of the time, as we are very, very eager to hear our Honorable Vice Chairman, Chairman, and other council members also. I once again wish you all the best for your the future endeavors, and I am quite confident that under your leadership, I will say, because the youngs are supposed to lead not only the profession but also to the nation. We are in the very, very safe and secure hands of the newly qualified chartered accountants. And when Aniket Talati ji, one of the youngest chartered accountant at the age of 37, 38 years, he is the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So you can very well understand that how important the contribution of the youngsters are there. I also got the opportunities to be the part of the council at the age of 33, 34. And I know that the youngsters can really contribute in the best possible manner. So all the best to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anuji. May I now request our other council colleague Vishal Doshi ji from Baroda, who is the chairman of Board of Studies also, to address all the young members.
Thank you, Durgesh bhai, and very, very good morning to all the newly qualified chartered accountants. And at the outset, I would like to congratulate all of you and welcome you on board as members of this prestigious Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. At the outset, I would like to compliment Durgesh bhai, chairman of this committee, and Rohit bhai, the vice chairman of this committee, for the excellent results under the campus placement program in this edition. And my good wishes to Anuj Bhai and Gyan Bhai also, and the respected President Sir. I think the Durgesh Bhai, President Sir, Anuj Bhai has said a lot. I have just two things to share with you, friends. Not on the campus per se, but I would like to share that as chartered accountants, though we have just completed our education, our studies, and passed the exam, but let us never forget that we are in a knowledge industry, and continuous learning is going to be the USP of each individual. So through this campus, you would get the first step into your careers, but all the later steps in the ladder would depend on your hard work, on your competency, and on your knowledge and the application of the knowledge that you gather. So my request to all of you is that whatever industry you are in, whichever area you are working in that particular industry, please keep yourself updated. Please do continuous learning of whatever technical, non-technical, current affairs, finance world, whatever you feel appropriate, but please keep yourself updated and continuous learning because that is ultimately going to help you in your careers. And second important thing that I would like to share are the three words of excellence, independence, and integrity. Friends, even in industry, never ever forget these three words. Whatever you do with excellence. You have passed the CA exam, you have got all the tools, all the knowledge. Ensure that you execute with your full excellence. Remain independent wherever you are in industry. Whatever job you are assigned to, always remain independent and think from a very open mind, whatever activities you are doing. And finally, integrity, which is utmost. Durgesh Bhai and President Sir also mentioned about the trust factor, the integrity, and never ever betray that, and ensure that these three words of excellence, independence, and integrity you always carry with you wherever you go. With this, once again, my best wishes to all of you, not only for your campus, but for your journey ahead. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vishal Bhai, for addressing all the young members. Now I would request CA Gyan Mishra ji, the council colleague from the Ghaziabad, to address all the young members. Gyan Mishra ji is the chairman of the Committee for Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, and Anuj Goyal ji is the chairman of Research Committee. Anuj Goyal ji always invite all the members to go ahead with the research papers for the institutes where we can create more opportunities. So Gyan Mishra ji, over to you.
Thank you, Durgesh Bhai. Highly respected President of the Institute, Aniket Talati sir, Chairman of the Committee, Durgesh Kabra ji, Vice Chairman, Rohit Ruatia Agrawal ji, Shri Anuj Goyal ji, Senior Council Member from Ghaziabad itself. I can see Nilesh sir has just joined. Welcome, Nilesh sir. Vishal Bhai, and of course the officers of the Institute. And very importantly, all the young members, budding professionals. Good morning to one and all. Let me compliment and congratulate to all of you for passing this very valued examination, not only in our country, but recognized across the world. You have become the family member of the biggest accounting body of the world. As of now, the ICI is one of the biggest accounting body of the world in terms of the number of members and of course the number of students and other stakeholders. Friends, a lot has been said by Honorable President Sir, up to Durgesh ji, Anuj ji, Vishal Bhai. Still, I'll take a couple of things to discuss with you. The first and most important thing is India is one of the most and fastest growing economy of the world. And needless to say that any economy which is growing in the pace of 6 to 7% of GDP rate, that needs the young and budding professional to carry the legacy of the finance. And as far as finance and accounting function is concerned, it has been established from time to time that no other than chartered accountants could be the better person who could handle it. Yesterday itself, Honorable High Court of Delhi, in one of the petition, has given the judgment that chartered accountants are the best people to head the finance function of any organization. That petition was being put by one of the peer professional institute to take the judgment that their persons are not being considered as the head of the finance. Rather, the chartered accountants have been given the privilege and priority while selecting a finance head. So we are proud that across the country we are getting the recognition as best of the finance and accounting professional. The second trend that I would like to tell you, the life is full circle. Today probably you are get selected in the campus or not. I'm very clear and blunt about it. But remember one thing, that the next big thing is on the way. This is not a stop. You're not going to stop here. Probably some better and a new innovative idea, some new thing is waiting for you. That's why you could not get selected over here. So always keep on moving, always keep on knocking the opportunity. And I'm sure about it that no one is better than you, and you will certainly get the best of the job what you are looking for. The other thing that I would like to tell you, respect your parents wherever you are. Now the time has come that your parents have grown you and you have become a chartered accountant. Now it's time to give them back that you have earned this very important degree, this pass, which is going to pass you at any exam of your life. So please do respect them. Please do give them back. Give back to the institute, to the nation. This is very important. And the last important thing that I would like to interact with you, this is our institute, our alma mater. Well said by your president, sir. Social media is very active. While posting anything over the social media or commenting on the things, do recheck the information. And please always try to post the good things. And if there is any negative news, do verify. Don't be part of the crowd, so that we can protect our alma mater, we can protect our dignity, we can protect the dignity of the profession, and of course, we can take the legacy of the profession ahead in coming time. So thank you, Durgesh Bhai, for giving the opportunity. And I wish all the newly qualified chartered accountant the best, not only in terms of profession, but in their personal capacity also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gyan Mishra ji. Now we will be coming to an end of the inaugural session. I welcome Nilesh Vikamsi ji also to this, where he'll be guiding all the members. But before that, a concluding remark is to be given by our Vice Chairman, very young and dynamic, always worried about creating more and more opportunities for young members and all senior members. Also, very much worried about the career of students, that how our maximum students gets through the chartered accountancy exam, and taking lot of steps for well-being of members as well as of the students. So I would request the Vice Chairman of the committee, Rohit Agarwal Ruwatia ji, to give his concluding remarks to all of you, and I'm sure that he'll guide you all in such a manner that you get a right path, the way the President has guided and all my other colleagues have guided you. Over to Rohit Ruwatia ji.
Thank you, Chairman sir, Durgesh Kabra ji. Honorable President sir in absentia, the Senior Council Member Anuj Goyal ji, Gyan Mishra ji from Ghaziabad, Vishal Doshi ji in absentia, and the speakers of today's session, Nilesh Vikamse sir, the past president of the institute, the secretariat of the institute, Sunita ji and Shalini ji, and all the newly qualified chartered accountant. A very good morning to all the future of the profession. So it's just, I'm thankful to everyone who have presented their views in today's orientation program. And of course, this is a virtual orientation program for the small center, for the candidates who are participating in the small center. Friends, let me tell you 2-3 things very quickly. That the institute is organizing campus since last 25 years, 30 years. And earlier there used to be that the candidate need to go to the office of the organization where he need to wait outside the door of the organization and give the interview. He need to travel across. Then he used to get the opportunity that whether he will be selected or not. But with the passage of time and with the development of the technology with the advancement and the vision of the leadership, the committee for members in industry and business is working day and night so that maximum companies participate in the campus with maximum number of offers. And I'm happy to share that almost more than 50% of the candidates applying for the campus are getting job in the campus placement, and the remaining chartered accountants are also getting the job during the tenure within a period of couple of months, because we have never seen that any of the single chartered accountant is left aside that he's not getting any job or something like that. More than 4,400 vacancies were there in the big center, and more than 3,500 vacancies are there in the small centers. And almost 4,500 shortlisting was done in the small campus center, of which approximately 1,500 candidates have selected. So we can understand that yes, rest of the people may have got the opportunity in other sector. So it clearly indicates the performance and the working in the committee. Yes, of course, sometimes it may happen that the companies may come in some areas they are not available, or they come with less vacancies, but it doesn't matter to you, doesn't matter to us, because we are putting our efforts hard that the companies come along. After the small center, we are again planning for the second round, in which we again expect that there will be more than 1,000 vacancies. So after the second round also, if after the small center campus, even if any candidate is left out, they will be have an equal opportunity to participate in the second round. So institute is trying its best that every candidate is getting an opportunity to participate in the campus, to be shortlisted and to have an interview, and then have the fair opportunity, fair equal chance of getting selected in the company. Two important things I would like to share. We at the institute are the matchmaker for the candidate and for the company. We try our best that the best of the companies come with the maximum opportunities for the candidates, and we try that maximum candidates participate in the campus who are qualified recently. We cannot bound any company that you have to take a candidate mandatorily. Parallelly, we cannot bound any candidate to join a company mandatorily. So it is a process in which wherever the companies suiting to the candidate, they join. Candidate suited the companies select the candidate accordingly. So it is a process which we need to understand. Yes, of course, that we need not require to travel across the various offices, and we are getting opportunity right from sitting at our home. And participating in the virtual campus is a very good platform for all of us to participate. With this, I conclude that, of course, we need to innovate ourselves with the passage of time. I would like to share one important scenario, which we can see that in 2010, there was a car, Toyota Fortuner. It used to come at rupees 20 lakhs. Today, the same car after 12 years is coming at rupees 50 lakhs. The car is same, the company is same. But you should understand that the company has done the facelift of the car of every 1 year. Even if a machine is being facelifted and then the price is increased, the same way we need to understand, yes, today we are qualified chartered accountant, but we need to have a facelift. We need to develop, we need to upskill ourselves that yes, now you are a machine. But again, if you need to increase your value, we need to develop that skills, that set of skills which will keep you success, keep you have, because every person knows how to be a successful person. It is just that how we can implement it, how we can bring all these parameters in our routine life, in our natural practice, so that we get the way throughout the career. So with this, I conclude my works. I'm again thankful to all the leadership, President, Sir, Vice President in absentia, Chairman of the committee who is working day and night for all of us, really bothered regularly and talking to us that what new things we can do in our committee so that maximum opportunities can be there. Of course, we are doing female member campus placement. We are doing campus placement for the experienced chartered accountant, and a lot many things like CMIB award 40 under 40. Many things are there which we are working. The HR meets, the various orientation program, so that maximum companies come and participate and have the exposure. Of course, we need to take care writing anything on the social media, because this post can be seen by the companies and can be seen by the institute as well. So We are just providing our best medium to all the students, all the candidates to get the best opportunity. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai ACI.
Thank you, Rohit Agarwal Ruatia ji, for your concluding remarks. With this, we will move to the first session of the campus orientation programs, where respected Nilesh Vikamse sir, who is the past president of the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, would be guiding all the young members for making the smart career choices. So, CA Nilesh Vikamse ji is with us. I would request Shalini to take over and introduce CA Nilesh Vikamse ji.
Thank you. It's our privilege to introduce speaker of the first session, CA Nilesh Vikamse sir, who is the past president ICI. He is a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants since 1985. Welcome, sir. He is presently chairperson of National BFSI Committee of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce and also vice president of West India Council of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. He is also member of Advisory Committee on Mutual Funds of Securities and Exchange Board of India, and also core group of Bombay Chartered Accountants Society and many more. He is holding directorship of PNB Housing Finance Limited, Nippon Life India Trustee Limited, Thomas Cook Limited, and many more. He was president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in the year 2017-18. Now, I am handing over dice to CA Nilesh Vikamse sir to share his thoughts with our newly qualified chartered accountants. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Shalini. Is my voice audible properly?
Perfectly fine, sir.
Thanks a lot. First of all, let me thank the committee of members in industry and business, the chairman Durgesh Kabra, the vice chairman Rohit Ruatia Agarwal, and the committee for requesting to share my views on this very important topic. I also take note of the presence of my senior, erstwhile colleagues Anuj Goyal ji, with whom I have spent quite some time in the council, and Central Council member Gyan Mishra ji. So it's good to be there with all the elite of our institute who are taking our profession forward. First of all, my dear young colleagues, heartiest congratulations for the fantastic achievement. In the sense, CA is something where all of us look forward to, whether as parents, whether as my son also is a CA. So when he became CA, I was very proud. The same way my parents would have been proud when I have, my family was proud when I became a CA. So heartiest congratulations. But the problem is, till the time you become a CA, our whole focus is exam kaise pass karna hai. How do we become a CA? And that time we don't think of what to do. बहुत ज़्यादा सोचते नहीं हम कि भाई आगे क्या करना है. I'll intersperse my speech between Hindi and English. I hope my friends from South and other areas don't mind that, because that's always good. And the topic which is given to me is making smart career choices, and which is the dilemma. I think once you become a CA, what to do? As people say, whether I should get into industry, whether I should get to practice, whether I should become an entrepreneur. And even in industry, there's so many choices, so many. I think the problem with this generation, you all who are qualified recently, is you've got enough and more choices. Problem with us was we didn't have any choice. CA ho gaye to ye karna hai, practice jana industry. Industry may be predominant was manufacturing. We didn't have other things like a startup or a BFSI or all those evolved now. So I think you are lucky in that sense that you have at least your choices to make. We didn't have choices. For us, the path was written. So here the challenge is, how do you make smart choices? So my, advice as a elder brother, you may say, or as a father figure, my son also is a CA who's 33, you must be in your 20s. So is always there'll be temptation of, getting more salary, more perks initially. So my suggestion to you would be, whichever area you like, take a job in that area, either a job or a practice or whatever you want to do. This is a campus orientation, of course. So don't run after money initially, run after the job, whichever job you suppose you want to get into a BFSI space, banking, financial services, etc., equity research or capital markets, so on and so forth. So maybe sometimes the money will, and just to give an example, the problem with our profession is it's not standardized. A person may do articleship, He may have a background of tax during practical experience of tax, or maybe GST, or maybe audit, maybe finance, maybe internal audit. So it could be different, and that person wants to get into something else. So whether we have, the right skills. So my first suggestion on the generic level will be get into an area which you want to do, which you love to do. So maybe a little bit money is less, say some other job which you don't like, maybe giving you more money, an area which you don't like, versus a job in the area which you like, which gives you less money. Choose a job which may be giving you less money, but which you like. Then it will not be a job. You love what you want to do. So that is the first thing. Second suggestion and warning to my dear friends here is, many times one feels that, the starting pay in some, say, just given some companies, say 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs, 15 lakhs, whatever may be. But roughly, in tier 1 cities, roughly 8 lakhs is the general range, and 10, 12 lakhs could be in some companies, like you said, 12 lakhs, 15 lakhs. But be very careful. Please observe how the increments happen later on. Just to give a case in point, maybe 15, 20 years ago, 20 years ago, the software industry was, the hotspot for all the people to go, including chartered accountants. And I was seeing companies at those times giving, say, 6 lakh rupees. Aaj ke time mein 6 lakhs kam lagega. Those times 6 lakhs was good. And the problem was, after joining at 6 lakh, they were trapped. Then the increment was, say, 5%, 7%, 10%. Whereas the person, say, who was in practice, he was liking the practice area, he may have started off at 4.5 lakhs, which was 6 lakhs. But then the rate of growth was very fast, at 20%, 30%. So always analyze how you'll grow in wherever you're joining. What is the growth path, not only monetarily, even your job profile wise, your designation wise, in case you work well. So keep evaluating that. And second, in the same context, is please look at the long term versus the short term. Something may be very beneficial short term, but don't take short term decisions. Keep the longer term point of view in mind. And other thing, say you have done your CA from a very small Mofussil area in India, where you can do CA anywhere, and now say you want to get into equity research, to a, say, banking, financial, not having done the past experience in that area. So suppose you did your experiences in only individual taxation or small partnership firms or whatever, and then you want to get into some other area, say industry in this banking, financial service space. So one may not join, one may not get a job in that area directly. Apne problem is, the moment we become a CA, we feel that we can do anything. And I'm very confident that chartered accountants, we can do everything. But from a person who is hiring, for a job, he will look at it, what your past experiences, what your past skills has been. So whether your skills during articleship has been tax, so then he may not take you up for a equity research or for a, from a hiring person. So ये एक dilemma है. So what do you do in this type of a dilemma? My suggestion there would be, join somewhere which gives you an opportunity to get into that area. For example, suppose you're coming from Mofussil area, you're not done, say, any work in BFSI space. So join any firm, maybe in a city or whatever, where you can do work in banking, can do work in, say, capital markets, as auditors, as tax advisors, whatever. Then you can see that industry closely from away on the opposite side. You get an exposure of the industry, and maybe after a few years, you get into the industry. Give it time. Achha, jarur nahi hai CA ban gaya to immediately, I become a CA for a company. It's not going to happen. You have to slog it out. You have to have a roadmap how to reach your destination. Mera destination ye hai, how to go to the destination you need to see. So I say it is a self-evaluation puzzle. So first of the self-evaluation puzzle is, do I have the requisite practical experience? Please analyze, have a roadmap. If you can, please note down what I'm saying. Am I technically sound in that area? I may be good as a chartered accountant, but say I want to get into insurance area, I want to get into capital markets. Do I have the relevant technical knowledge of those areas? Then again, what do I want? Do I want to get into a job where I got employee comforts? Generally, it is a fixed time. As an entrepreneur, you have much more riding your skin. So as a practitioner or as an entrepreneur, but if you join an industry, of course, your I would say liability is limited. Of course, only you need to hard work, and your remuneration is fixed. Other very important thing, friends, is please analyze in the self, what is your nature. Suppose everybody is joining, say, X industry or a practice or whatever. Not necessarily everybody has to follow the herd. Each person is individually different, what he likes. So what is your nature? Whether you are of the entrepreneurial kind, whether you are of, somebody wants is very happy, contented, I want to have a 9 to 5 job. I don't want to, slog it out. I don't have the entrepreneurial, that. So sabka alag, and there's no right or wrong in that. Each person, as per the nature, you can look for a job. So park that also in your, self-evaluation puzzle. Then what are your interest areas? Focus on that. In that interest area, how do you, again, skill yourself? Rohit mentioned, the Vice Chairman mentioned about innovating. So if you want to get into some area, keep on getting more and more knowledge कि भाई उसमें क्या हो रहा है in that interest. And next in the evaluation process, do I have the clarity where I want to be and have work-life balance? तो आपका आगे long term कहाँ आपको पहुंचना, वो CFO बनना है, you want to become a capital market expert, say like a Anil Singhvi or a Motilal Oswal or a Nirmal Jain or whatever. There's so many people. And again, against this, what is your financial objective? Are you coming from a family background where financial support is required immediately? You cannot. So all these self-evaluation puzzles will have, or you're coming from a very, good background where initially your family may not be expecting money out of you for some years. So based on this puzzle, you can evaluate and then decide where to go. So I'm repeating, what is your self-evaluation puzzle? Do I have requisite practical experience in that area where I want to get into? Am I technically sound in that area which I want to get into? Do I want to have employee comfort or entrepreneurship, spirit where I'll need to work 24/7? There are two things. What is my nature? According to a nature, you have to, get into a job or a practice, whatever it is. What are your interest areas where you want to grow? Do I have clarity where you want to be, after 10, 20, 30 years? And what are your financial objectives? Do I need to support my family immediately, or if they can afford to, give me some entrepreneurial time for a few years till the time I settle down? I think these are the areas where you can, look at. So, okay, you have done your self-evaluation puzzle, you know how you to. So the next step is, for example, again, as I give an example, you're in a Mofussil, area and you want to get into capital markets and you're not sort of dirtied your hands in equity markets. You didn't have enough experience in the firm which you have, either in audit, tax, or whatever. Then you may sort of, as I told you, get into a CA firm which can give you other areas of experience which you want to get into, become a retainer, and do those type of work. So there are various options which are, sort of available. Now, coming to career choices, friends, as you know, typically as a CA, we have got a traditional areas where there's company audit, tax audit, cooperative society, internal audit, specialized audit, or there is, compliance work in direct taxes. We've got compliance, appellate matters, tax deduction source, international tax, transfer pricing, indirect tax. You've got compliance as well as, litigation, advisory, and appellate. And there are other areas like, ROC compliance, annual returns, so on and so forth. These are the typical areas which we work in. But assuming, again, whether even in a job you want to get into, so what are the emerging areas which are coming up? First and foremost is, I think there's a lot of work which is happening on the ESG. Today, ESG is if you're in corporate area, suppose you want to get into a corporate. So please work a little bit on the ESG, environment, social and governance, issues. How do we, and there's huge opportunity. Currently, I think the listed companies are supposed to do that BRSR reporting, I think the top 1,000 ones. After that, there will be assurance in that area, whether the numbers which are generating, say an industry is generating a lot of pollution. So how does it become net zero? How does it reduce its water consumption? So there are a lot of areas in ESG which you can work on. How do you have assurance of the numbers which the companies are reporting? So ESG, in my view, is a very big area which is coming up. Friends, you're all youngsters. One other area which I feel there's a huge opportunity is emerging in whichever way, whether it's you want to join industry or to join practice, is how do you use technology to do things better? Whether it is artificial intelligence, there are bots, robots which are doing a lot of mechanical work. There is data analytics, there's blockchain, which is going to emerge. These are all emerging areas. And I believe today, at least on the practicing side, enough and more has not been done for harnessing this technology side into our profession. At the same time, in the industry, I think a lot of manual work going on. So if you focus on, okay, how do I use technology to be relevant to the area which I want to be? I think, again, there will be huge opportunities emerging in times to come. So it's another area which I want you to focus on. You're youngsters, you're very tech savvy. So I think that could be another area where you could focus on. So suppose you want to get into an industry also. So in that industry also, how to use technology, work on that, give those suggestions to the company you're joining or the firm you're joining, and that will be helpful. Apart from that, friends, there's huge opportunities which are coming up in bankruptcy code. there are some challenges. There is the delays happening in NCLT. So these are the initial teething challenges which will happen. After a few years, hopefully it will settle down, and all the problems which we are facing currently may get sorted out. So bankruptcy is again, I believe in the future will be a huge area. Valuations, advisory practices, especially inbound, outward investments. See, India, as Gyan Mishra ji mentioned, is the focus. Next 10 to 20, 30 years, India is going to lead the world's growth, and if you look at all the parameters, I made a presentation in the World Congress of Accountants and using some data of Invest India and, Morgan Stanley reports were there. It's just amazing. So it may be happening. It may not be a straight, hockey stick like increase. It could be up and down. We may rise, we may go, but there is no gainsaying the fact that it will be, India is going to be the story. So inbound, outbound services will be doing a lot. Next is business support services. What do I mean by business support services? The likes of accounting, KPO, BPO, so on and so forth. Another area, friends, which you can focus on, which I believe is going to have a huge area, is digital forensic. Any forensic audit, we discussed data analytics, but forensic itself is going to be huge. Robotic process, RPA, robotic process automation, which is bots, robots, and all, how each and every area of work will be, a lot of manual work will be done by, bots. For example, accounting, reconciliation, all these things can be done by bots. So how do you use that digital accounting? Cyber security, whether it is small and mid-sized firms or large firms, cyber security again is a huge. So one has got the financial knowledge. And it's not, you need not be absolutely technically superb. You may like an engineer to be into a cyber security area, but even as financial expert, we can have basic knowledge of cyber security and advise our clients or advise the companies how to guard against, and that is the biggest threat. Friends, today, you'll be surprised. Our governments, not only India, but all across the world, they are not as much worried with physical warfare as they are worried with cyber warfare. Today, there are hackers sitting all in our immediate neighboring country. Also, there are the expert hackers which are there. So whether it is governmental institutions, whether it is companies, whether it is small, mid-size, each and every company is, threatened with the cyber attacks. And I joined a board of a company which was attacked. It was a logistics company having operations in 180 countries where they were attacked. Before I joined the board, a couple of years before, there was ransomware attack. So this gives you the importance of the cyber security also, in which we definitely, I believe, as a chartered accountant, we can look at it. Today, social, audits also are picking up. There's a social exchange which has been set up with the help of ICAI. So whether it's charitable trust, foreign contribution regulation act, there's so much, need of advice in that area. Not many people practicing in those areas, foreign contribution act, social exchange and all. So that will be, helpful. Then, of course, the internal financial control systems, processes, developments, etc. So that is again a big area which is sort of coming up. Friend, this was as far as different areas of practice. But I think another big opportunity for making your career choices. Some of you may be wanting to look at what is the possibilities of opportunities abroad. So let me share with you. There's a deficiency of 3 lakh accountants in US as we speak right now. Not many people are joining the accounting profession there. When I was the president in Canada, there was a shortage of 8,000 professional accountants every year, and in Australia, 6,000 professional accountants every year. And same way in UK. UK slightly, Europe is under the weather right now as far as economy is concerned. But US, definitely there's a huge demand. There's demand. And friends, again, for information, at ICAI, we have foreign chapters, I think about 44. We have got representative office. So it gives you a toehold. As a youngster, so you decide you want to go abroad. So whichever part of the world you want to go into, by and large, in almost all the important cities, we have got a toehold. Assuming, say, in China, we may not be having many, but Hong Kong, we have got a chapter. We have got a chapter in Singapore. So those people can help you, put your, for your to foothold in whichever city you're looking. Suppose you want to do something in China. Just give me an example. China, though currently is on a declining curve, though it has reached this last 20, 30 years, they've grown very well and it's now saturating, and the European and the US companies are de-risking themselves from China. So that's why China plus one strategy is going on. But assuming you want to go to China, it's fine, there's an opportunity there. So you'll have some help from Hong Kong, assuming there's no chapter in China, but some help from Hong Kong, which can, help you in China. So there are ICAI chapters, so you can look at the institute website, you can connect with that leadership there, and they'll help you wherever you want to go to. So huge opportunities abroad. I think the Indian chartered accountants are world class as far as they are all rounders and they can get into any area. I'm very clear. You've got the likes of Piyush Goyalji, who's a very very senior minister today. We had Suresh Prabhuji. We had the likes of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, who no longer with us, as a very ace investor. As I spoke names earlier, Motilal Oswalji, Nirmal Jainji, Vallabh Bansali, Nimesh, all these are chartered accountants. So, and not only in this area, Shekhar Kapoor, who's a film director, is a chartered accountant. And you've got chartered accountants who are now athletes, who are, I know some chartered accountants who did training with us who are excellent petitions. They were interested in pit. They became CAs at the first shot. A girl, Sana Kabra, she became a petition, went to Paris, did training. So so choice should be yours, what you want to do. And that is very clear that you should do what you love. That is very critical. You become a CA now, decide what you like. Thoda bahut paisa upar niche aage piche ho jayega. Over a period of 20-30 years, the money will take care of itself. Don't run after money right now. I'm saying, yeah, money is important. I'm not saying it's not important. But thoda bahut kam, ek jan 8 lakh de raha hai, ek jan 6 lakh de raha hai. So go after the job which you love. The money will take care of itself. So that's, another thing I wanted to share with you. Coming to, another thing which I just wanted to share with you, my young friends, is when we were bringing out a new course in 2017, and you speak now, we met a lot of industry people, and 4 areas where we felt the industry felt that CAs are not good enough compared to always the comparison with the MBAs. So I want to leave that thought with you. Once you join industry or go abroad or whatever, 4 areas you need to work on. Please note it down. Very important. The feedback we got is that CAs are more knowledgeable than MBAs, but problem is they are not problem solvers. They are problem finders. They are not problem solvers. So I want you all to be problem solvers. By habit as a CA, by training, we are problem finders. इसमें ये गलती है, इसमें ये गलती, audit में ये गलती है, internal audit में है, the tax में भी return filing में ये गलती है. We've been attuned to become problem finders. But my request to you be, when you go for a job, be solution. Okay, you find out the problem, go with probable solution to your seniors, and I'll tell you, your career will take off if you become that attitude of problem solver. So problem solving, bring it in your DNA. Please note down. Second, another feedback we got from the industry that generally they found chartered accountants to be lone rangers. They are not team players. So always play in a team. As you know, today nobody, even Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma or anybody cannot win individually. A game cannot be won. Even a Siraj who got 6 wickets right now, only on his bowling, there have to be people who should be batting, fielding, wicket keeping, bowling. As a team, one has to be successful. Only then you'll be successful. So you need to be team players. Another area where we lacked, friends, is leadership skills. I think you would have got some leadership skill traits in your what you call AICTSS. Earlier it was called GMCS, the soft skill program of the institute. So leadership skills, assuming we don't have, you may join some courses. How do you hone your leadership? And the best way of leadership is take responsibility, take large projects, and your leadership skills will get enhanced. So take responsibility, take up challenging projects. Automatically, leadership skills will get honed. It comes over a period of time. It cannot come, unless you do that, it will not come. And last, but not the least, is the presentation and the communication skills. Though again, in our erstwhile GMCS or AICTSS or whatever it is called now, the soft skill course, many people don't take it seriously. Presentation, your knowledge may be adequate, inadequate, but your presentation and communication skills have to be superb. So please hone that up. Please grab opportunities to make presentations. थोड़ा initially बात करने में आपको दिक्कत होगी, but the more it all requires practice. You have to speak, you have to do. So the more you practice, the more you will be, sort of doing this thing. I would want to conclude. I think we need to catch up on time with 4-5 sayings which will help you in your life. The first one is of Tim Cook, who gave his address to the George Washington University in 2015, the Apple CEO. I believe that a person that has values and acts on them can really change the world. And as CAs, and this is my addition, your values matter. You need to have values, and they are your North Star. Find your North Star, let it guide you in your life and work. That was Tim Cook's words in George Washington University. This was, I just put CAs over there. Another by Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you will be disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did. So sail away from the safe harbor explore, dream, and discover. That was what Mark Twain has said. Explore, dream, and discover. Another thing, Charlie Munger, who's the partner of Warren Buffett, his words to youngsters are, you're not going to get very far based on what you already know. So you become a CA. I'm again juxtaposing with what a CA is. With already what you know, you will not get far. You're going to advance in life by what you're going to learn after you leave from here. So you have become a CA. From here onwards, what you're going to learn is going to take you ahead in your life. So this is Charlie Munger, again to students. And finally, on this Harold Genin, in the business world, everyone is paid in 2 coins, cash and experience. Take the experience first, cash will come later. So as I told you earlier also, you gain experience in the areas you want to be in, and the cash will follow. The cash will follow. That's what all these, you can search on them. Harold Genin has mentioned this. And in conclusion, friends, if you wish success in life, make perseverance your bosom friend, experience your wise counselor, caution your elder brother, and hope your guardian angel. I'll repeat, make perseverance, work hard, your bosom friend, experience your wise counselor, caution your elder brother, and hope your guardian angel. And a couple of other small quotes. Success is the good fortune that comes from aspiration, desperation, perspiration, and inspiration. And as Steve Jobs mentioned, always stay hungry, always stay foolish for gaining more knowledge. With this, I would want to conclude my session, wishing you success and good luck in your career. May God bless you. I hope I was able to guide you on making smart career choices. I gave you a lot of, generic gyan as well as specific areas where you can work on. And I wish you all the very best in your career. May God bless you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. We are sure the gathering will never forget your words and keep a note of everything. Thank you. Thank you once again, sir. Now let's proceed to our next session.
Thank you, Nilesh bhai.
Give wings to our.
Thank you, Durgesh bhai.
Now let's proceed to our next technical session on Give Wings to Our Wishes. Please let us welcome our next speaker, CA Maitri Swaminathan, Head Finance in Guardian Life Insurance Company. She is currently heading the finance function for the India operations of Guardian Life Insurance Company. After spending 25 years in the oil and gas and engineering, procurement and construction industry, she brings her rich experience in finance, accounts, mergers, and transitions to the insurance industry. She has completed her CA and CS as a rank holding student at both institutes. Now I am handing over to CA Maitri ji to share her thoughts with the newly qualified chartered accountants. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Kabra. Good morning, Sunita ji. And first of all, I'd like to begin, since you're all newly qualified chartered accountants, our last speaker was also talking about it. I think give yourselves a pat on the back. You have now made the journey into being one of the key professionals of India and one of the top professionals of India. So pat in the back for you. It's taken a lot of effort. It's taken, I know, piles of books to go through. And but this is not the end of the journey. Like Mr. Amit Arora said, you'll have to continue upgrading yourself, continue, sharpening your skills as you are chartered accountants, as you navigate the course of the world. Mr. Arora did talk about international opportunities and things like that, but I would like to underscore that the world itself is changing. The world as we knew it, went through Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3. What we are at today is the cusp of Industrial Revolution 4. What does that mean? We've all seen how ChatGPT has changed the world in the last few months. And that's just the beginning of the change. The world is going to be an absolutely brand new place in the next few years. And unless we are adding value in terms of thought leadership, those of us who are performing tasks that are routine will certainly get taken away by the automation. So it's very important to be cognizant of the changes that are happening in the world around us. Things like blockchain, things like, the banking industry is undergoing a complete change, open banking. There are a lot of concepts that are changing in the market, and it's incumbent upon us to stay on top of the technology changes that are there. So while we begin this session, I do want to let all of you know that I'd like this to be an interactive session. Please do ask questions. And I think there should be a question panel here, but I'm not seeing it. So will somebody be sharing the questions with me separately?
Yeah, in case we'll get any questions, we'll post it to you.
So I would request all the participants to ask their questions so that we can answer what questions you have in your mind, rather than going into a canned session, which is going to be far more valuable to all of you, in terms of giving you answers to the questions that you have in mind. So I'll encourage all of you to keep raising questions. But as we go through the session, what we will talk about is how can a chartered accountant learn to showcase skills and experience? I think that's one of the top skills. You've all gone through your GMCS, you've gone through various soft skill trainings. But how do you showcase your skills and experience as you either you're entering the industry and you're going through job interviews, or you're setting up your practice, in which case you need to be able to sell to your clients, and you need to be able to convince them that you have the skills and you will be able to deliver the product they need of the quality that they require within the timelines they require. So that again is a very special skill. So I think it's important to learn how to showcase your skills and experience. And again, how do you showcase your skills and experience? It's chicken and egg in many ways, that whether the experience comes first or the opportunity comes first. But as you pick up experience, and there are ways of picking up experience even during discussions. So all of us should stay connected with our community. I think that's extremely important to get your network and your community in place, your support network of experts, your support network of peers and colleagues, your support network of people who have expertise in various other different fields, who will be able to contribute to the growth story that you have and help solve issues that come along the way as you navigate complicated issues during the course of your career as a chartered accountant. The other thing that is important to understand is that we need to be patient. Patience is extremely important. Remember that everyone is adjusting to changes. Everyone is looking at how to capitalize on how the market situation is constantly changing. So be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, understand, give yourself time to understand and adjust to the fact that we are no longer students, but to the fact that we are now in the world where we need to compete with various other professionals at different levels in their career. So as you join your career in the initial stages, I think the endeavor must be to learn, to observe, to be patient, and to gain experience through being exposed to various different aspects of the profession that come your way. I think it's also important at that stage to understand what your real interests are, because unless you are able to zero in on the field that is of your interest, gaining depth of experience in that field will not begin to happen. So there are some of us who are very clear as soon as we complete our journey as a chartered accountant on which is the field of expertise that we want to get into. But there are others who need some time. So take your time, get exposure, get experience, and find out where your area of interest is. But be able to decide your area of expertise, because moving from one area to the other, while it does increase your experience overall broadly, but the field of chartered accountant is also becoming extremely specialized. So what is it that take time to reflect on what direction you want to take right now. If you're unsure get exposure to various different areas, like I said. Apart from that, like I said, engage and grow your network. Start actually using tools like there are tools like LinkedIn. There are various other networking tools that will come in handy for all of you. This is a very electronically connected world. Stay in touch with people, discuss issues, because as we discuss issues, we discover new perspectives to each issue. And discovering these new perspectives definitely helps us take better decision and take better steps as we are solving problems for our organization or solving problems for our clients. At the same time, I would suggest, we also need to learn to develop our resilience. There are a number of situations that will come our way that will challenge us in various extremely tough ways. So how do you develop the skill of resilience, which, in the world of industry, resilience is perhaps the most critical employment skill that each employee is expected to have. So how do you develop your resilience? I think reading a lot about the challenges that face our colleagues, reading professional publications, but not just that, reading positive literature. So don't restrict yourself to professional literature, move further from that to positive and motivational literature. It is important to broaden your horizons and to be able to interact and face the major challenges that will come our way as professionals. Stay positive and persevere. So there are times when there is need for perseverance, whether in pursuing a new lead as a sales, when you're starting your practice as a chartered accountant. There would be times when you need to be persistent in organizations as you take up, roles in organizations. And there is a need to shift our mindset and be extremely positive with this. I think the course of a chartered accountant automatically prepares us for these challenges. I think there are extremely difficult times that we encounter in the course of completing our chartered accountancy. I think all those challenges are thrown upon us of balancing articleship as well as balancing examinations and so on and so forth. So a lot of that groundwork in preparing chartered accountants is already complete. But I would encourage you to keep in mind that staying positive, persevering is going to be extremely important. And that's when you will be able to consistently succeed in life. I think another important aspect is to keep your CV updated. So keep your CV updated. How do you do that? Every time you gain new experience in terms of exposure to a new area, think about how your horizons have expanded and think about how you would like to showcase that to the world through the document that speaks for you in your absence. The document that speaks for you in your absence is your CV. So I think the skill to update your CV at all times is extremely important. And how do you present it in your CV in a manner that communicates to others what you have achieved without your being able to say that to the reader of the document. So these are some of the tips that I would like to share with all of you as you embark upon your journey as a new chartered accountant. I think some of the questions that are topmost on people's mind and which have sort of been raised in past sessions is, should I go for a large company? Should I go for a small company? These are some of the common questions that I have sort of answered in the past to newly qualified accountants. And I think I'm going to try and address all those questions during the course of the session. Like I said, I would encourage all of you to continue raising questions because we want to make the session relevant to the participants. So please raise questions. Please ask what is topmost on your mind. Based on past interactions with freshly qualified chartered accountants, I'm aware of some of the questions that are topmost on your mind, and I will try and answer them today. So one of the questions that comes up very often is, should I join a large company? Should I choose a small company? I think what is important for everyone in this journey to remember is that you're here to enrich your experience. And I think a choice of whether you want to go for a large or a small company is very personal, and it depends on exactly what it is you're seeking from that opportunity. There are some of us who in a small company might receive the opportunity to gain exposure to a lot of areas that we may not gain exposure to in a large company. Large companies have larger teams, and therefore, by virtue of having larger teams, they also have a lot of people who are handling a small part of an area. For example, a large company would have a large tax team. And therefore, there would be one person who's dealing with, say, indirect taxation. There would be one person who's two or three people dealing with various aspects of direct taxation and so on. But if you want a broad-based experience on direct as well as indirect taxation, which perhaps a smaller company may be offering, it makes sense if that is the exposure and experience an individual is seeking. It makes sense in that situation to choose a small company rather than a bigger one. So I think it's a very personal question to be asked based on the job description, based on what the company has to offer. I think it's important to evaluate how much working with that profile would enrich your experience and whether that aligns with the career goals that you have. Based on that, I think that's how you will be able to make a decision. There are people who've asked questions that my real interest is this area. For instance, my real interest is taxation, whereas I'm getting a role in financial accounting. Should I consider it? I think, again, this is an extremely personal question, and it depends on, again, how you want to leverage the opportunity in front of you. So if what offer you have in front of you does not align with your career goals, and if there is no financial pressure, I would suggest you can wait. But if, depending on family situations and depending on how you think you have an opportunity to grow in the company that is making the offer to you, you want to choose what is being offered and you want to use that as a pathway to growth, I think, again, that is possible. There are many who have done that and extremely successfully and been able to grow in their careers to the area that is of their choice and interest. So I think the important message is to sit back and think and articulate clearly what your career goal is, articulate clearly what your expectations from the next 3 to 5 years are as you are at the threshold of taking the first decisions on how you want to steer your career. While you do that, keep in mind the new and upcoming areas that are open for chartered accountants. So while your area of interest currently may be in one field, there are a lot of new areas that are coming. Mr. Amit Arora touched upon social audit as one. I would say ESG is an extremely important area that's opening up in the future. It's growing. A lot of new legislation is coming out in that area. Consider how you might want to leverage and grow your knowledge in that area. Right? So I would suggest that let's not restrict ourselves to what might in our own minds be, choices that we've made based on our past experience and exposure to certain areas of expertise that a chartered accountant has open to them. I think it's better to open your mind and be willing to embrace whatever comes your way and leverage it in growing expertise in that area.
She is rejoining, just to confirm. Yeah, we met.
All, I hope I'm audible now.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Thank you. Wanted to check while we're here, are there any questions from the that we can take? Please continue sharing them with us. Another question that often comes is, should I take the offer that has more salary? Should I take the one that has less salary but less exposure, less job content? Again, while all these are personal choices, I think wherever there is enrichment of experience, because this is your first stepping stone as a professional into your career. Wherever there is professional enrichment, I think all of us are tempted to take that. And that should always be topmost on your mind as you're choosing any assignments, any opportunities that come your way for jobs or for professional engagements. I have experienced that even while people join jobs with, fairly lower salaries than certain larger companies offer, they are able to gain a lot of exposure and a lot of confidence in dealing with a wide variety of roles, and therefore the growth that they get later on in their career in terms of the returns are much higher than others. So again, it's a very personal choice, but I would not say that you should restrict yourself based on the remuneration that is being offered by an employer. I think rather the barometer should be, what is it that I can gain as a professional? How can I enlarge my knowledge base? So these are some of the common questions that come our way as people embark on their career journey. Apart from this, like I said, if there are any other questions that you all have, please feel free to raise them. Shalini, if there are any questions, we can take them right now.
No, ma'am, you can continue.
I can continue. Okay.
Yeah.
I think one more important field I want to cover is that of communication and how important it is as we grow in our careers. I think if the topic of today is give wings to your wishes, and if the first part of it is understanding of our wishes, which is what we've spoken of so far, that introspect, understand where your area of interest is, what is it that you wish for from your career, and create that. But how do you give wings to it? I think the only way to give wings to your wishes is to hone our communication skills. Unless we are able to let others know what our capabilities are, it is very difficult for them to position us and to repose that trust in us to deliver on whatever they have in mind. For instance, a client may want a certain project delivered, but unless as a chartered accountant, we are able to convince them that we have the capability to deliver it, it is going to be very difficult to get that assignment. So it is extremely important to hone our communication skills and to be able to convince our clients, to be able to give presentations, and to be able to interact in larger forums. What are some of the tips for improving your communication skills? First of all, I would say let us not equate communication skills to English speaking skills. English speaking skills definitely are one part of it, but they are not 100% of what communication skills are. Communication is being able to articulate and to be able to convey whatever that it is that you want to convey. And that can be done in any language. I can share one experience of being in a meeting with people from multiple countries where somebody from China presented their idea. And he apologized a lot for his inability to communicate so well in English. And there was somebody from an English-speaking country who said, well, I think not only have you communicated the idea very well, but you've also shared that you know one more language other than that I do, which is the reason that you have such an accent, right? So I think we should be proud that if we have an accent while speaking English, because it shows that we know one language other than English. So English is not the be-all and end-all of communication. It's certainly one of the aspects. It's certainly one that we should continue trying to improve. But I don't think we should hold ourselves back or let that impact our confidence if, English-speaking skills are not what we have. The way to improve communication, I think one, start listening to a lot of talks. Start listening to maybe even news items, start listening to discussions. There are a lot of discussion forums that are streamed online on television and other media, and all of us have access to so much media at our fingertips. So I would say it's important to devote some part of our time to listening, because the more we listen, the more we absorb, and the more we get proficient in a language, or more we get proficient in what phrases we can use, how we can improve our communication, how we can convey an idea to somebody else, how we can convey, sometimes we may disagree, right? And we may need to present a very different view than what our superiors at work may be seeking. But there's a means of communicating that. And so it's important to keep listening, to hone your skills in your communication by listening to a lot of debates. And you would have seen on television debates how people are able to convey their thoughts on a certain topic without being abrasive, without sounding, contrarian, but in very respectful manner convey that this is what I feel as a professional. These are the reasons I feel the way I do. So it's very important to be able to articulate that clearly. Also, whenever you're communicating, please make sure you're communicating the how, what, where, when of a situation. So very often I have seen people who come up and without giving context in interviews as well, straight away jump into certain discussions. It's important to set context. So even in an interview, in very simple questions that, can you share something about yourself? It is important to articulate the key highlights of what matters to you as a professional. In that 2 minutes that you get to explain, can you share something about yourself? So it's important to articulate what your learning journey has been. What is the reason, how being a chartered accountant is contributing to your overall career goal, what it is you're seeking out of your career, and how the opportunity that you're interviewing for then aligns with that career goal. So it's a 2-minute exercise in which we are able to articulate all of this. So it's important to practice that. Practice it, perhaps even by writing. Practice how you would hear it if somebody else was saying it, and to be able to improve upon it. Another way of improving your communication is to also have a set of people with whom you are regularly interacting with the purpose of improving your communication skills. So if you can develop that group of people who will very clearly be able to help you do your strengths, weakness analysis, and you can choose topics. So there are many forums such as that are available. There are oratory forums that are available. You can join them and be part of those groups, I have seen people very effectively improving their communication skills by being part of those forums. And I cannot impress enough how important these skills are throughout the course of your career. There are people at extremely senior levels, who still are investing upon themselves to improve their skills in communicating. As people grow in their career, there are important interactions with the investor communities, with stakeholder communities. And those require a very different kind of a skill set in communication. So I know people at various levels in their career who continuously strive to improve their communication skills, which is why I'm saying it is important, even at this point, to start and keep that focus on communication. I'll take a break here if there are any questions. Sunita, are there any questions from the listeners at this point?
Salini, can you please?
No, because no, candidates are not giving questions.
They are not. Okay, this is not a...
No, yeah.
This was not supposed to be an interactive.
This is the other kind of, yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid I didn't realize that, so I was expecting some questions.
No, ma'am, you may continue, ma'am.
I'll do that. So giving wings to your wishes, again, we spoke about how to understand what your wishes are and then align your career to what your wishes are. Second, how do you give wings to your wishes? So one is communication. Second is going out and educating yourself about where opportunities are which align with your career goal. And there is a lot of changing landscape even in that. So the traditional ways of looking at only campus recruitment or only job placements has changed a lot. There are a lot of companies that are giving gig assignments. So seek out gig assignments, seek out short-term sort of opportunities that align with your career goal. There are the big four that I'm aware of that also do walk-in interviews, that there are the big four that also have very multi-skilled teams. So please understand where it is that you want to grow in your career and seek out opportunities, maybe not with full-time with a company, maybe not as a chartered accountant who is specializing in that area, but maybe even gig assignments, maybe even short-term assignments that provide exposure and experience in the area of your choice. There are also multiple seminars and conferences that are being organized across various towns in India by the Institute of Chartered Accountants for certain, but also by various other forums. Find out symposiums, find out seminars that are happening on the topic of your choice, because that is where people who are interested in that topic also gather. So this is a networking opportunity. For example, if you're interested in ESG as a subject, there are multiple ESG symposiums that are happening in various towns. Make time to go and attend them, because in those symposiums, you will find people who share that area of interest on ESG. That's an opportunity to interact, to network, and to find out if there is anything that you can contribute in that field that will open up a foot in the door for you all to be able to contribute in that area and to be able to grow your career in that area. So find out, in your town, what is happening for professionals which you would like to join. And please make a point to join, not only to expand your professional horizons, not only to expand your education on the topic, but also to meet people who share that area of interest. That's another way to give wings to your wishes. Other than that, even within your career, it is important to network not only with your colleagues, but with people in other industries. So for those of us who've who've been in our jobs, and this is something that I do often. I often, over the course of my career, I walk up to my seniors at least once in a few months and ask what is changing for the company, what is changing for the industry, what is changing for us, what can we expect in the next 1, 2, 3 years, which gives us a lot of input to think about how we are aligned with the future. I can share some examples of that. You would have seen how the telecom industry has changed in the last few years. I think in the last 1 decade or so, some of the top players in the telecom industry, say, on the handset front, BlackBerry phones are no longer there with anybody. But ask anyone who was there 10, 12 years back, it was the most popular business phone. So being in the telecom industry, somebody who was in touch with how is our customer base reacting? What are the needs of our customer? What is the voice of the customer? And how does that impact my industry? How does that impact me as a professional? Would have been an extremely important step for that professional to stay relevant in the telecom industry. I'm going to take a minute to turn on my charger. My computer is going to lose power. Just 1 minute. Sorry, I'm back. So, being within a job or being within practice also, it's very important to ask that question of what is it that is changing? What is it that is changing for my industry? What is it that is changing for my role? What is it that is changing for my company? And when we ask these questions periodically, we also gather a lot of inputs that we are able to process and change the course that we are on to align better with the future. So I think it's important to do that also, to give wings to your wishes, because otherwise, with the change, with the pace of change in the world, staying relevant is going to be very important for all of us. In giving wings to your wishes also, I think what I would recommend is setting some time apart every year for professional growth. Set your targets every year on what is it that I want to improve in terms of soft skills, in terms of professional skills every single year. Chart that out. Keep your, it's something that a lot of professionals do. Keep your diary of what my objectives are for the year to come. And these are not your goals that are to be put in your performance goals for your company. These are personal goals for each individuals. Make your personal goals of what your learning objectives are for the year to come, what your development areas are for the year to come, and what your strengths are. Very often when we do a self-assessment, we all focus only on development areas. I think what's more important is to also focus on strengths, to recognize what our strengths are and to leverage those strengths. There may be, for example, 5 or 6 areas which are development areas for each of us. But I think it's equally important that there are 5 or 6 areas that are strengths for each of us, and we every year invest on making those strengths even more strong. Because while we improve our development areas, our strengths are already our assets. How do you improve your asset base? So I think, that annual exercise of self-evaluation of where do I stand as a professional, what are my strengths, what are my development areas, and what are the learnings I want over the course of the next year, which will enhance my strengths, which will help me slightly reduce my development areas or slightly improve upon my development areas, is extremely important. I can share that this is something that I do every single year. And by doing this, I have found a lot of benefit in, growing in my career and growing as a professional. So in giving wings to your wishes, I think this is the third aspect that I will focus on. I'm sorry, there is some disturbance on the line.
Ma'am, you have shared the screen, but now it's not visible.
I did not share the screen. I think
Oh, that's okay. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and there was some disturbance. I hope I'm clearly audible now.
Yeah, ma'am. Now, fine, ma'am.
Okay. So to recap what we spoke of, number one, what are your wishes? I think it's important to spend that time with ourselves to understand what are our wishes. All of us are cutting edge professionals, and it's important to recognize that it's a very vast field and to be very clear what are our wishes, which is the field that we want to enter into. Having done that, how do you give wings to those wishes? A, communication. B, professional growth. C, an annual self-appraisal of understanding what our strengths, weaknesses, and development areas are. These, I think, are the key aspects if we want to give wings to our wishes as professionals. Apart from that, some areas that I touched upon early in the talk, I think perseverance, the ability to deal with challenges, the ability to deal with... Sorry, there's a lot of disturbance in the line. Am I clearly audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The perseverance, the ability to clearly articulate what our requirements are, and the ability to deal with issues, troubles, and challenges that have come our way. So with that, I will wrap up. I think it's on top of the hour. So I will wrap up. Sunita or Shalini, if there's anything else you want me to cover, happy to do that. Any questions from your side, I'm happy to take that. Otherwise, I will wish all the participants the best. And
thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session full of knowledge and guidance. It was really amazing to hear you, ma'am. Now, let us move on our last technical session on Count Your Opportunities. I welcome CA Amit Arora, sir, who is an anchor with Public Service Broadcaster, Doordarshan and All India Radio, New Delhi. Welcome, sir. CA Amit Arora, sir, is a journalist, newsreader, anchor, radio jockey, quiz master, and a commentator with 18 years of experience with Doordarshan and All India Radio. He is a qualified chartered accountant in May 2001. He has held senior financial management positions both with the corporate and voluntary sector. He is a visiting faculty with ICAI. As a faculty, he has mentored many professionals over the last decade in media studies, communication, and financial management. Now, I am handing over to you, sir, to share your thoughts with newly qualified chartered accountants. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Shalini ma'am, for your kind words. And I express my gratitude to ICI leadership for inviting me for this particular program. And it was very informative to hear both the previous speakers, Maitri ji, and before her, Nilesh Bhai. Thank you very much. So congratulations to all the new chartered accountants. I know it's a very proud feeling. It's been 21 years that I qualified as a chartered accountant, but still the thought of that particular day when the results came, and this feeling dawned upon us that we can prefix C against our name still gives us goosebumps. So congratulations to you, to your family, to your teachers, to everyone. But then now comes the big challenge, that how do we contribute to nation building? And how do we act as a complete business solution provider? Because those are the two key things that define a chartered accountant. One, nation builder. Two, complete business solution provider. So as our past president, Nilesh ji was saying, that it's important that not just we identify the problem or the challenge, but we offer solutions too. So that means that there has to be a behavior change where we offer solutions. Now, once we become CA, it's important that we are aware of the opportunities that we have in front of us. So the topic that I have in front of me to share with all of you is titled very aptly, Count Your Opportunities. So I was the one who was checking the slide at that point of time, and I hope that it's visible now. So congratulations. I'll take you back to August 15, 1947. It's an important date because the headlines in the papers that day said, India independent, British rule ends. That's the Hindustan Times. The Times of India headlined, Birth of India's Freedom. Nation wakes to new life. But what we got on the 15th of August was political independence. What we aim now is economic independence. 76 years down the line, economic independence is our next aim. And anyone who has the desire or has a dream or has accomplished that dream of prefixing CA against their name, I think in one line of objective, if I had to put the objective in one line for any chartered accountant, that would be economic prosperity in every household. How do we ensure economic prosperity in every household? How we create wealth? So that is where we have to rededicate ourselves repeatedly to the motto of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, which is a quotation from the Katha Upanishad, as it says, Ya Eshu Supteshu Jagrati, which means the person who's awake among those who are asleep. And while ICAI was set up on the 1st of July, 49, you'll be surprised to know that the first time the council met on the 15th of August itself. That was in 1949. So it was a two-day affair, 15th and the 16th of August. Now, 76 years down the line, what are the terms that you hear? So we hear this, that India aspires for inclusive, sustainable growth. So those are the two important prefixes. One is inclusive, second is sustainable. Why I feel this is a very important time, full of countless opportunities to be a chartered accountant, because now we have to ensure that growth reaches all and growth is sustainable. So while these two words might look ordinary to you, I will strongly recommend that if you have a pen and a paper, write it. Inclusive, sustainable growth. And these are the two key words that will give you countless opportunities. So welcome to the session. It's called Count Your Opportunities. And trust me, for your generation, the opportunities are infinite, and I'll share some of them. I think the previous speakers have also talked about some of the opportunities. So my name is CA Amit Arora. That's my Twitter handle at Am I Good. As I express myself for the course of next 40 minutes, if you have any questions, please feel free to tweet me. That's the best part of technology. So I have my mobile in the other hand. And if I receive any tweet, I'll be more than happy to include your comments, questions as I go along the next 40 minutes. So guys, let me begin by one of the stories I filed this morning. So among other stories, of course, the landmark legislation that was passed in Parliament yesterday in Rajya Sabha and day before in Lok Sabha was the main talking point this morning on Doordarshan. And we congratulate everyone who's associated with it, that we've been able to pass that legislation with the majority, almost unanimous. This morning I had in my studios of Doordarshan this girl, Payal Solanki. You know who she? She was 13 years of age when she was detected with bone cancer. She had some pain in the leg, went for tests. Doctors advised her biopsy. And then doctors told Payal that she had stage 1 bone cancer. Since then, over the last 6 years, she has undergone almost a dozen surgeries. She has undergone almost a dozen chemotherapies. Good news, she has fought cancer. She's absolutely okay now. So cancer is history now, and Payal Solanki is a cancer survivor. So I interviewed her this morning. You can catch the entire interview. And I'm sure you like it. And why did we interview her today? Because today, 22nd of September, is observed worldwide as Rose Day. So while we may be aware only of the 14th of February as Valentine's Day, and we think maybe that's the Rose Day, but World Rose Day is observed on 22nd of September, where we give a rose to a cancer survivor. and we salute their spirit. So the story of Payal Solanki this morning that I filed was very, very inspirational. Last year, there was a beauty pageant that was held in India. It was called Miss India Cancer Warrior. So those who have survived cancer participate in that. And Payal won the inaugural edition of Miss India title as well. So from having no hair when she did chemotherapy to winning the beauty pageant, that's her story. She's now pursuing, she's finished her 12th, and she told me this morning she's sitting for CLAT examination, wants to become a lawyer. This is one of many stories which motivate us first and foremost to realize that while we have now a chartered accountancy degree, there will be ups and downs in life. How do we go about whatever best we have to serve the humanity? So once again, I congratulate you, but notwithstanding that in our respective lives, we may have struggle. Everyone's life has their own share of struggle. We still go on. And that's the beauty of life. That is the beauty of life. So wherever you are in your life, I may not know your constraints, but I still wish you all the best. And there cannot be any excuse for us not to express gratitude. So let's be very thankful to our progress so far. Let's celebrate our accomplishments so far. ICI is a very, very big institution. It's a very big brand. Till yesterday, when you were a student of CA, you had to focus on your studies. Now that you become CA, you are part of that ICI brand. Whatever you do will affect the ICI brand. You do well, the brand goes up. You do something that's not right, not ethical, compromising on integrity, ICI brand suffers. So we have to rededicate ourselves to the ICI motto, the principles that we stand for. And what are the principles of ICI? Independence, integrity, excellence. Independence, integrity, excellence. Okay. So as I congratulate you, why is it that I've taken this picture? Because you are just like this new bird who's all set to fly. And we wish you all the best, that you may have a nice flight. But you remember that in this picture, you also see nature. At one point of time, maybe about 10 years back, if you ask your parents in their school, in their neighborhood, if you ask your parents or previous generation, you'll certainly find them telling you that 10 years back, 20 years back, they could find a sparrow. They could find a nest like this. No longer you find a sparrow in Delhi, very, very hard to find. No longer you find a nest like that. Therefore, in the market, we have bird nests being sold. So what is the first big thing that we have to do as a chartered accountant? Where is the most important opportunity? Nature. You all know that 9th and 10th of this September month, we had hosted the G20 India Summit. And over the last 1 year, ever since India took over the G20 presidency from 1st of December 2022, we've had series of meetings. Under G20, we had an engagement group, which is called B20. So B20 India was an engagement group within the realm of G20. ICI also participated in B20. What's B20? B stands for business. So you had ICI as part of Indian representation, along with other representation from our industry. Similarly, there were industry representatives from the other member states of the G20 members. And it's huge because it counts for about 75 to 80% of the GDP, bulk of the population. And they came up with this acronym, RAISE. So businesses agreed that from here on, it's essential that we are responsible, accelerated, innovative, sustainable, equitable. So I will strongly encourage that from here on, as you move to your next destinations of work, have these keywords ready. How can business be responsible? How can I, as a chartered accountant, contribute to it? How can we have accelerated growth? If world only moves at incremental growth, we'll miss out. So while some growth always happens, but only incremental growth is not going to help humanity. We are a population of 8 billion on planet Earth. We need accelerated growth. How can I, as a CA, contribute to innovation? What is sustainability? What do we mean when we say equitable? I'll strongly urge that you should write these points down. And whenever you have a larger interaction with your parents, your mentors, teachers, your principal, ask them these questions that what role can CA play in that. So I hope that now you have noted this acronym. Now, one of the important outcomes of the B20 was that an action council has been made on ESG in business. I hope you guys are aware what ESG is. If you're aware, why don't you tweet the full form? Let me see who all are aware. So just tweet and tag me as well at am I good? And tell me, what do you mean by ESG? Now, according to me, the most opportunities lie in this sector. Why? Well, if planet Earth has to sustain, then only human beings exist. It's a very simple equation. If we mess up with our climate, if we mess up with our planet, and COVID has already given us a warning, we better understand. And your generation perhaps has got the biggest important role to not only do well, but also cover up for the losses that the previous generations have made. So you will now hear words like natural resource accounting. If you've heard about natural resource accounting, let me know on tweet. If you haven't heard, then also let me know. I will explain a little bit. I did get a chance to interview the Deputy CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General, on this issue. I would request you to go on YouTube and check the interview so that you know that how Comptroller and Auditor General, the Supreme Audit Institution, from 2020 till 2022, in that 2-year time frame, has set up the framework of NRA, which is Natural Resource Accounting. And that having been set up, it's up to the chartered accountants now how you implement that on ground, so that when you make P&L balance sheet, you factor in the value of natural resources as well. So you're going to hear NRA quite a lot. You're going to hear about ESG accounting. You will certainly be recruited for ESG auditing. You'll certainly be talked more about green finance. So in G20, we did have the representatives of World Bank, International Monetary Fund, IMF, other funding agencies. We're already in the midst of time where most of these multilateral banks, institutions are going to extend money to India or other businesses if it is having eco-friendly outcomes. So it's very essential that we understand what green finance is going to be all about. Okay, so understand all of this, and according to me, this is one big area where we're going to excel. Now, if you do Google, you'll find that we have last year amended the Energy Conservation Bill. So we have what is known as the Energy Conservation Act of 2022. That's the amendment. And the question is, what amendment have we brought? So we have amended the Energy Conservation Act, and that legislation now talks about Indian Carbon Market. Indian Carbon Market, ICM. So those who have qualified now, trust me, one of the big fertile grounds for you to work would be setting up of and then ensuring the operations of the Indian carbon market. Now, what is that? Now, any business now will have a certain limit of carbon emissions that they can do. So say, for example, the industry standard for a particular sector has been set up at 100 units. If the business uses only 80, they save 20. That's carbon credit. They can actually sell that. Similarly, if there's a business that spends 110, then there's a deficit of 10, right? They'll have to buy that 10. So it affects your revenues. It will also be one of the expense items. And this is now going to become a reality because we have mentioned this, the carbon trading and carbon market in the Energy Conservation Act. This will take shape over the course of next couple of years. Who's going to work more in leadership roles for this? Chartered accountants. I firmly believe that now, after 76 years of independence, now that we have the aspiration that we're looking at India at 100, being a developed country, we're talking about $5 trillion economy. This is not going to happen without CAs taking leadership role. So we've already done that. CA, they've had a glorious history of 75 years. But like you see here, we have to now move towards accelerated growth. And in addition to profit, also focus on the other two P's, which is planet and people. So make sure that you write this down, that your role is not just limited to profit, but triple P, profit, planet, people. So make sure that when you go out there and engage with the industry, with MSME, with agriculture sector, textile sector, no matter where you go, manufacturing, services, everywhere, think from the prism of RAISE, R-A-I-S-E, and how I can contribute to a more inclusive and sustainable growth. Because if growth is not inclusive or sustainable, it's not growth, right? COVID has taught us that. Even if there is one person on planet Earth that has the infection, everybody has a risk. So we have to come united on some of these global challenges. And that is what we discussed in the B20 Youth Engagement Group, B20 Engagement Group, the Business Engagement Group under the aegis of G20 India. Now, the other area where I see a lot of scope for chartered accountants, particularly the new generation, that till yesterday, we used to hear words like literacy, planning, inclusion, freedom. Now, all of this is a matter of history. Going forward, you are going to have prefix against these. India's got about 85 to 90% literacy rate. So now this next 5 years, or maybe this decade, we're going to talk about financial literacy. We've got UPI, which has been such a big revolution. And similarly for trade and commerce, we're looking at ONDC, which is Open Network for Digital Commerce, an initiative by the Ministry of Commerce. And therefore, a lot of people are going to engage in business. A lot of people are going to have business transactions, be it in urban area, be it in rural area, be it in different districts of the country, and again, connected with the world. And with increased financial transactions, there is this associated risk of fraud. So therefore, those are the areas where the role of the accounting and auditing profession is only going to increase in the digital world, because more and more transactions are going to be there. They all leave the audit trail. We are moving from cash to cashless economy. That also warrants that we have a mass movement of financial literacy. So ICI has already come up with a campaign called Vittiya Gyan Abhiyan, which is the financial literacy campaign. And I think that it's essential that we can, one, not just know ourselves of how the realm of finance operates in terms of sources of funds, utilization of funds, debit card, credit card, savings, investment, wealth creation. But more importantly, we're able to take all of this knowledge to masses. And that is going to be one big area for chartered accountants. That how, say, for example, in a country of India, 140 crore people, how are we going to make them now financially literate? Similarly, how we are going to encourage financial planning. Till yesterday, if majority of jobs were in government, even if somebody was not financially literate or didn't plan finances, government did it for them. So when they retired at 60 or whenever they superannuated, they had a certain PF, they had a certain insurance that was bought by the government on their behalf. With opening of the economy, now you have a lot of people who, one, may be working in the private sector, two, may be moving towards entrepreneurship. Given that, it's essential that in your working years itself, you have the habit of saving, investing, planning, and then making sure that you plan for your 60s, 70s, and later life. Financial inclusion is a must. Economy becomes developed not by just a few people having money, but everybody having sufficient enough first to ensure 2 square meals and the basic foundation needs for survival and growth that will require financial inclusion. So look how in Jan Dhan we have now everybody having a bank account. So having a bank account is the first step towards connecting with the economy. So with the financial inclusion happening the way it has been happening over the recent few years, it is only going to mobilize a lot of money. People are going to understand that, okay, what is earning interest on money? What is time value of money? And with everybody included, that will be a big push towards overall economy. And of course, the next thing that we have to propagate is financial freedom. Because one, we may not like to work after a certain age. Okay, maybe we want to retire, say, at the age of 50. not necessarily 60, because this generation is very aspirational. They would like to accomplish things faster than their previous generation. The other aspect is that if I don't upgrade my skills, I may actually be fired, or I may not necessarily get any suitable job. So financial freedom therefore becomes very important. So what's financial freedom? That during your working years itself, you've planned your finances in a manner where you now necessarily don't have to work for money. So that's the wealth creation chart that I like you to see. And of course, everybody can make their own chart that they feel comfortable with. But remember, the wealth creation starts with skills. Now you have the CA degree, and a chartered accountancy degree brings with it certain core skill set. Which ones? Common sense, observation, analysis. You guys, just like a doctor reads the diagnostic report of blood reports, x-rays, you looking at P&L balance sheet can tell that, okay, how is the financial health of the company? And like I said, a paradigm shift in your role is that not only will you make financial reports from here on, you're also going to integrate non-financial factors. For example, if you have to audit this particular building, in addition to the profit figure, you would also see what is their energy requirement. What percentage of this energy requirement is coming from renewable sources? How can we phase out the usage of fossil fuels, fossil energy, right? All of this. So that's all skills. My skills in finance, my skills in non-finance as well, because now I am a complete business solution provider. So I would strongly encourage that you should constantly upgrade your skills. And the CA course gives you a lot of skills. So don't underestimate yourself. You're technically solid. And like every speaker also highlights the importance of communication, please make sure that soft skills is also a part of your agenda. Soft skill does not just come by like that only. Okay, soft skills are developed by investing in it. So make sure that you give presentation, make sure that whatever topic you've understood, you try to explain it to 10 different people. And remember, soft skills is not just speaking. Soft skills begins with listening. If listening happens to you, reading happens to you, writing happens to you, speaking will happen to you as a byproduct. So ICI, you should always have gratitude to the alma mater, because time and again, they will have some of the other event they organize. Look at today's event. So we have to be thankful that, okay, event like this has been organized where you can join online, you can listen to galaxy of speakers, and then pick whatever best you can. So make sure, one, you have skills, two, you constantly upgrade them. Okay. The second aspect, budget. More and more people are realizing, whether it's a big industry, MSME, any small business, you have to convince them on the importance of budgeting, because financial tracking is must. So say, for example, over the course of next 1 year, we have drawn on an Excel how much money will come, which month will it come, what expenses will happen in different cost items. All of that needs to be budgeted, just like we budget for the nation. If I ask you what's the budget of India, would you know? If I ask you what's the budget of the local body, say Municipal Corporation of Delhi, would you know? If I ask you what's the annual budget of Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, would you know? One of the biggest areas of chartered accountants for the next 5 years, accounting and audit of the government, be it the center, state, Gram Panchayat. A lot of money flows in there. So which accounting standards will be applicable to them? So we've got this body GAZA that comes up with the accounting standards for the government sector. So GAZA is an acronym that is for the Government Accounting Standard Advisory Board. Please visit their website. Public financial management, one big area. Public financial management. So just a quick recap. ESG, one big area. I've already told you that RAISE acronym under the B20 engagement group of G20. That's the second big area. Third big area is public financial management. All of these areas are going to be ones which are going to throw countless opportunities. Countless opportunities. So budgeting, very essential. So what's the budget of India? Then when we expensed, how does it get through the PFMS, Public Financial Management System? Now we all know cash and accrual system. So our government's working on accrual. If they've been traditionally working on cash, and if the transition has to happen, like we are seeing in Indian Railways, CS have a big role to play there. Then savings. Like I said, you have to make sure people become financially literate. Even if I were to earn 100 rupees, I should take 5 out first for saving and then expense later. It's not income minus expenses is equal to savings. It's income minus savings is equal to expenses. That is how wealth is created. And then again, there's a difference between savings and investment. Savings you may have, but if you don't respect time value of money, it might just, its value might come down with time. But if you invest wisely, then you create wealth. And then that is how growth happens. And then it becomes cyclical stuff that constantly I upgrade my skills, constantly my yearly budget increases, my portion of savings increases, I'm more wise in terms of the diverse investments I do. And then all cumulatively leads to growth. So remember, wealth creation is the function of chartered accountant. And India, after 76 years today, is at a cusp where everyone would like to be wealthy. We've got the basic fundamentals of education reaching out to the far end corners of the country, which makes easier for people to go ahead and create wealth. But make sure as you create wealth, the fundamental premise is to be healthy, and one always has to invest in health. The other thing why we can now have inclusive, sustainable growth, be it for India or the world, why can't we have an inclusive growth now compared to say 10 years back? Why is it easier? Because of technology. Particularly after COVID, I think we all have become so comfortable with internet. Today, trust me, if you've got a mobile and an internet, you have infinite opportunities to learn and grow. I refuse to believe if anyone comes up and says, I have a certain skill set, but I'm unemployed. If that's the case, then you just have to work on your soft skills more. Otherwise, with a mobile and internet, trust me, infinite opportunities. And while today we can list a few that, okay, accounting, auditing, forensics, data analysis, cyber, trust me, there are so many other opportunities that maybe none of us may be aware of. It is just that as you travel with time, you will be knowing more about these new opportunities. So the idea is to be open-minded. Idea is to constantly adapt. Idea is to constantly keep a tab on what's happening, how the world is moving, what are the new consumer choices, be innovative. That's why in RAISE, innovation is so important. Now, as you do all of this innovation, and as India also moves from being a job seeker to a job creator, failure is going to become a norm. So don't worry about it. Okay? Give yourself permission to fail. My WhatsApp status. What is my WhatsApp status? It is, let's be kind. And when we talk about kindness, it's not about being compassionate just to others. You cannot be compassionate or kind to others till the time you're kind to yourself. I think it was Buddha who said that your compassion is incomplete if it does not include you. So when you fail, be kind to yourself. It's okay. It's far better than not trying. So if you never fail, you never learn. If you never learn, then how are you going to progress? So after completing chartered accountancy today, after hearing all speakers and then again hearing other videos on YouTube, hearing your parents, hearing your relatives, you are confused what to do, just take the first step. The most important thing is taking action. Taking action. Sometimes we just plan too much. And of course, as Indians, sometimes we're also champions of overthinking. We can waste hours and hours overthinking rather than just trying something out and enjoying failure even if it happens, because failure with it will bring experience. And if I heard Nilesh Bhai correctly, experience was some brother or daughter, something he had mentioned. So it's like that close bond. So like I said, CA is a core skill set. Remember, at all times, you're a nation builder, right? Nation builder. Nation needs you. You are very, very talented. Just spare a thought from 1949, ever since ICI came into existence, till today, 75 glorious years, we have about 400,000 chartered accountants. Just 4 lakh chartered accountants. So it's a select elite club. Welcome aboard. Take great pride. In a country of 140 crore people, in a country of 140 crore people, we have 4 lakh chartered accountants. Should we take great pride on it? Yes or no? Now the question is, as a CA, how can I contribute to humanity? So as a nation builder, make sure that the national interest is always on the top. You can always create values that guide you and direct you in the right path, particularly when tomorrow you will have any ethical dilemma, you'll come out of it very fast if you've got a good core skill set of values that guide your path. And second, be a complete business solution provider. As I said, the core skill set that chartered accountancy stands for includes common sense. Much of finances, according to me, is common sense. Observation. That's why we've got Garuda as our emblem. Observe, analysis, wonder. A sense of wonder is also a must. Sometimes just sitting in the nature, having green time, me time, and just wondering that, okay, how can I contribute to the entire value chain? I think in the entire value chain, CAs can contribute everywhere. Wherever there is money, CAs can contribute. Wherever there are finances, CAs can contribute. So you only tell me, can the opportunities ever be counted? No, they are countless. And then, of course, another area I'll strongly encourage this new set of chartered accountants that cultivate sense of humor. Because traditionally it is a perception that we are people who are good in numbers. But let's also build a perception that we can smile, we can dance, we can rock. And sense of humor means getting the right punch at the right time, enjoying the lighter side of life. Let me narrate an example. So, you know that Mr. Barack Obama was the president of the US for 2 terms. And after that, Donald Trump became the president. And now we've got Joe Biden as the president. Now, when Joe Biden became the president and Kamala Harris of Indian origin, the vice president, one fine day in the White House, Barack Obama went for some healthcare event. So when Barack Obama went to White House after a long gap for this healthcare event, he had to speak. So he started speaking by saying, Vice President Biden, because all these 8 years when he was the president, he used to address him like that, Vice President Biden. But now he's become President Biden. So the moment he started by saying Vice President Biden and Vice President, like Kamala Harris, then the entire people who were there in the room, they started smiling, laughing. And you can see both President Biden and Vice President Harris were smiling too. And then he shook hands with President Biden. He came back again and he said, my President, Joe Biden and Vice President Harris. See how in a matter of 10 seconds, the entire energy became very positive. So sense of humor does not necessarily mean that you have to crack a joke. It could just be one line, very sync with the content that you're saying, and you'll get it right. And then, of course, you can continue to go ahead and speak. So develop consciously sense of humor. Okay. Some quotes always help good. So as you read, if you think that you've come along a certain quote that resonates with you, have in your mobile or a piece of paper, have those 2-3 quotes that always guide you, that motivate you. There's so many quotes, but everybody has got their own some favorite quotes. Like, for example, one of my favorite quote is that I do not want anything outside his will. I do not want anything outside his will. And in his will, I have nothing to fear. So when you have faith that there is a universe, a supreme power taking care of you, why would you ever worry about anything? You do your bit, you take action, things will fall in place. That is the beauty of life. Similarly, when we talk about wealth creation, a lot of people feel being rich is having money. But remember, being wealthy is having time. We all have very limited time on planet Earth. Time finishes very fast. And on deathbed, many people have regret that they didn't really live life. Better live life while you have time. So financial freedom will help you structure your time the way you want. Now, how do we build financial freedom? Well, it's a choice. And so-called rich people may not necessarily experience financial freedom, while a person who's got limited financial resources may feel free. So make sure that you know how to manage debt, eliminate bad debt. You know how to manage money, so important. How do I plan? How do I manage my expenses? How do I do investment? What are my goals of life? All of this exercise can help you manage your cash flows better. Opportunities need to be created. If you just remain seated at home, nothing is going to happen. Go and meet people. Express yourself. Like I said today, never ever has it happened in the history of humanity that at the click of the button, you can reach out to 8 billion people on planet Earth, but it's very much possible today. So if in your house you're having mobile internet, at the click of the button, if you speak something that's relevant, people are going to reach to you. You are going to reach to people. And remember, the best jobs are creative expressions of continuous learners in free markets. So it again boils down to the skill that I have and my innate desire to continuously be a learner. The best part, ICI, even after the CA degree, has got a lot of courses that they do. Don't do it for any certificate. The fact that you get a certificate is just a byproduct. Do it to increase your knowledge. So whether it is on sustainability, whether it is on forensic, whether DISA, so many courses. So if you align with something and you have time, please by all means do that to increase your skills. But I think the best skill is increased by working. Nothing like doing internship, nothing like doing volunteering for a job, nothing like being on a certain job, even if you're paid a little less, so long as you're trying out something new. So long as you're getting some experience and you're going out, meeting people, you are making progress. Make every day count. We call someone leader not because they are in charge, but because they had the courage to go first, to risk first, and to trust first into the unknown. So a lot of people, as they become CA, would talk about few opportunities that have been talked about every year. So those are very much chartered path, nothing wrong in that. But trust me, with the new geopolitical order, with the new avenues being opened, you also have to have the courage of being the first to go into the unknown and try it out. So don't get scared about it, just do it. If there's a new field that's coming up and you feel maybe you can go ahead and perform better there, by all means you should. Networking, very, very essential. So ICI does a lot of seminars, a lot of workshops. I'm sure you'll have some study circles in the centers that you come from. The best part is that ICI is not just New Delhi or Mumbai or Kolkata. ICI is such a vast body. We're present across India. We're also there across the globe with so many chapters. So wherever you are, try in your region to get connected with the local representation there. Create some program, a knowledge program, cultural program. Networking is very essential. Whatever best you can do, please do it. Volunteer, you'll have more like-minded people. And remember, networking is giving. And once you are giving, it is adding value to the network. And if the network strengthens, everyone on it benefits. So give whatever best you can. As I said, sometimes we are champions of overthinking. Overthinking is to mind what overeating is to body. So just like we shouldn't eat more, and because you'll become lazy, don't think too much, right? You are far more superior than your mind is. Nature of the mind as an organ is to generate so many thoughts. It is doing its part. But you are not the mind. You are far more stronger than your mind. So as I said, wealth creation only happens if you're healthy. So if your mind tells you to have more of junk food, you can certainly say no. If your mind tells you to have more of soft drinks, you have to say no, because it is nothing but an injection of sugar. And so much of sugar, not good for your body. We're only going to be vulnerable to lifestyle diseases like diabetes or cardiovascular problems. So make sure that you run, make sure that you walk, make sure that you have walks in the park, because only then you will have creative ideas of how I can contribute as a nation builder and also as a business solution provider. Businesses need you, no two ways about it. The question is, are you ready to give? That's the key question. There's a lot of work to be done out there. When I refuse to believe that in a country like India that aspires to become developed, that aspires to become $5 trillion economy, that aspires to become inclusive, sustainable growth economic model, there is any dearth of work. Lot of work. So guys, keep it simple. Enjoy life, experience it. This is a beautiful life. Whatever 70, 80, 90 years we are here on planet Earth, it is going to be absolutely brilliant if you have experiential learning. You have to aspire to transform yourself from survival to growth. Survival is only about roti, kapda, makan. But if you limit your growth only to survival, it will be a very limited life. But if you grow, there is no limit to it. You can grow to whatever level you want to. And I only wish that we have the wisdom and an environment that enables us to have an experience of life. I hope you are able to value freedom. Remember, cages aren't made of iron, they're made of thoughts. So you are far better than your thoughts. So look at this star. It is such a beautiful star. I mean, these days we are conquering space like anything. 23rd of August is the National Space Day. What a wonderful moment it was when Chandrayaan-3 landed on the surface of lunar mission. And then, of course, a week later, Aditya L1 also successfully being launched by Sriharikota. So whenever you are having some stress, some tension, just look up in the sky. It's a beautiful space. It's a wonderful world. And trust me, the universe works when you communicate with it. And remember, the gap that you have between ignorance and knowledge is much less than the gap that exists between knowledge and action. You have the knowledge, that's why you've gone on to become CA. The question is whether you will act and will fill all the gaps. Life will bring uncertainty, have the courage to face it. There are infinite opportunities, have the commitment to leverage them. We have finite time, be conscious of it, but we are evolving. And therefore, it's important that we evolve to be kind, compassionate beings, have values. Values any day will be stronger than your valuables. And I hope that you follow this path and the other guidance that comes from the ICI leadership and other people around you. I'm very sure that you will become a good person and you like the person you're becoming. All the best, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I extend my thanks for the enriching session filled with knowledge and valuable guidance. It was really a pleasure to listen to you, sir. We also express our sincere gratitude to all the esteemed guests for their presence, experiences, and valuable time shared with us. Your participation has made this event a resounding success. Thank you all for making this day memorable and inspiring for everyone present. Thanks to all participants and wishing you all the best for your campus interviews at the smaller centers. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Amit ji, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.